First PO, number one, baby.
Yeah, where are we? Just now, physically.
We're in Energy Tower 3, Energy Corridor in Houston, Texas. It's right smack dab in the middle of most of our customers, so we have proximity to everyone real close as we need to call on them and conduct our business. So it's a good landmark location. We've set up shop here to start our MDL journey in Houston.
This is a good opportunity to explain the difference between this office, satellite office, if you will, in Houston, and Homa. So what's different and what's happening between these two?
So the difference between our two locations is really balancing out our customers' needs, where they're at, and focus. Homa is a great place to stage equipment, prep equipment, modify, build. We're able to mobilize and send equipment from Homa directly to Foshan, which is the primary offshore hub support for mobilizations of projects. So Conrad's got that area really well covered. He's extremely well known in the area and is able to make things happen quickly from the service. Most of our customers, however, reside in Houston, officed for whether it's Exxon, Mobil, the oil majors, BP, Chevron, Shell, and then all of the players that we typically support, which are our intermediate contractors, back deck support services, et cetera, all in Houston. So to having people in both states, right, we're 350 miles apart. It's kind of good to cover separately, but it's an easy thing to do, to be a part of both sides. It's great to come on board in Houston and support our efforts or growth here. We need to be present here to be in people's faces, to be available to them, and to build that trust level. And driving back and forth is just not the way to do it. So being able to team up with Conrad and support the growth here is pretty exciting.
And like you said, first PO, so it's not our first PO ever in the US,
no.
But it's proper in your hands now, and I've seen you in action trying to get it all pulled together. There is operational things to sort out, because it is, I imagine, I hear, different doing business here and carrying out projects than in the UK. And there are challenges trying to carry out operations here from there.
Yeah, the team has been super supportive. The issue is our clients issuing a PO late in the game. Now we have to fabricate stuff here that we've taken on. We've engineered it in the UK. We're trying to fabricate match equipment here. That adds a little bit of complication elements, so we weren't able to go to our standard supplier. I think we just got the PO signed just now, but the project team's been involved for a couple of days now. So we've made some of the right steps. It's just fast and furious, as we tend to like it. So we'll adjust.
I'm glad to hear that, because from my perspective, it shows what MDL is good at, responding to a client need. So it's not just supply of a tensioner for a job. It kind of is probably potentially in the client's eyes, but there are those complications of having to fabricate something, bespoke for this particular job. And you are just fitting right in with being able to find that solution, even though it wasn't obvious it would be there and we would be able to do it. So hats off.
Yes. Baptized by fire.
Yes, well integrated already. So you mentioned Brazil. How do you see the interactions? Because there's North America, South America, Central Americas, and that Gulf of Americas, Gulf of Mexico in between. It makes probably more sense to cater for that from here. But there's also, you think there might be some interactions in terms of who's holding the assets, where the assets are placed between the two. What's your thoughts on that?
Great question. So it's new territory, I think, for MDL to consider how split and how it's covered. But I've had several conversations with Yuri and try to keep up with him on a weekly basis or so. I do believe that a lot of the customers that are supporting Central America, all of Gulf of Mexico, some in Canada, and the West Coast and East Coast are residing in the Houston area. So that's a good focal point to start. Some of the assets that may be conducting work will come from UK, maybe West Africa, potentially Brazil. We've seen that recently, where a vessel may be mobilizing from Brazil. This is the PO we just signed. Vessel left Brazil, it's arriving in the US, it's mobilizing, picking up product in Mobile, Alabama, and then it heads back to Guyana for the installation. That project team's here, the project management's here, so it's naturally a good point for us to cover their needs and do the face-to-face bits here. But there's some instances where a vessel will load up from Brazil and go straight to site. That's where it'll get a little bit team effort to make sure the right people at the right places with the right relationships are covering that workload. It's no different than when you go to Europe or any of the other countries I mentioned. The social cues are there, they're different. There's a few different changes, but MDL conducting business here is going to be an easy button. The customers want the professionalism and the certainty that MDL brings. The checks, the balances, it's not a short change. Here's a piece of kit, good luck. It's going to be looked at, it's going to be thoroughly looked after.
So I'll ask you just a final question, I promise. Apart from the lunch and coffee just in a few minutes, what are you excited about in the coming months?
Getting a first real piece of kit here, whether it's a WHLS and an RDS combo or WHLS and a 110-ton tensioner, that will be a celebration, because now we have real kit, something tangible that everyone will see driving up and down the road in that Houma, Fouchon locations. We'll be able to advertise that it's on the ground. We'll have a U.S. entity. We'll have additional U.S. employees supporting offshore work. Those are all exciting points. But once you have the equipment on the ground, it becomes all real, and you know you're working towards a profitable solution.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I wish we had swivel chairs and we could just turn. That's the
Yeah.
episode finished.
We can. We just have to pay for it, I'm sure. And we're not
We
doing
need
that.
more than just one PO for that.
Yes, we need about another 13, 14 at least.
Nice target.